Welcome, everybody, back to part 4 of Plejaren Revelations. Working our way through this list here. The quick shout out before we get into the that Plejaren material here from Billy Meier. The new raw contact material came out, courtesy of the effort Toby Wheelock has put into this, and you can get all 5 books condensed into 2.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's super nice. With a unified index. And the index is actually fantastic. It has every single word, like a glossary of all the words. And then it tells you every single time it's been used. You know, and you can look at this and be like, okay. The word magic was used almost 70 times. There's probably something there.
But I like that unified index because I think, you know, for me, and we use the website for it, but it kind of helps you when it's categorized like that, you know, because then you have a theme to study.
That's exactly right. I can literally start.
It's not bouncing from one thing to the next,
Which is what you and I are really good at doing because we got ADD. The nice part about this is I can literally go to, acupuncture. It's one passage on it. 49.5.
There you go.
Lo and behold, this is what we were talking about the other day with the Kundalini. So right here, if I just want to study acupuncture, 49.5. But if I want to study what the word adept means and all the aspects of it, I have all the way from section 3 all the way up to section 100. Like, this is pretty incredible. And, you know, if you're going to put your money in anything, they ask you if you want this for an extra $7 on top of it. Buy it because it goes through a nonprofit, LL Research.
Yes.
And it does a lot of good.
A lovely organization.
I'm feeling mad.
That's what LL stands for, love and love. No, love.
Yeah, love and love.
Lovely.
Lovely, Jason.
Lovely.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I feel so chill.
I know, yeah, especially when you're coming from acupuncture.
Yeah.
You just brought that up.
And I had needles all up my neck, shoulders, ass, ankles.
That's crazy.
Ass to ankles.
Full of needles.
That was just needles.
What was the most you had in you?
I don't even... Dude, they flick them in you, like through a tube. She was doing that for like 10 minutes straight. I don't even know how many needles I had in me. Couldn't even tell you. She threw one at me, though. I thought my leg was going to fly off my body again.
Ooh, she hit something.
She's like, this is your meridian line. I'm like, yeah, damn straight, that's my meridian line. I'm like, holy smokes. And then I'm on the table and I start laughing uncontrollably. She's not even in the room. She leaves me there. There's so much stress pouring out of my muscles.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's trauma that's been stored.
Right.
From overuse and accidents that I've been in, whatever it might be. And then as I'm laying there, your eyes just start pouring water. It's not even like a regular cry. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, crying.
Yeah.
Dude, tear ducts just start flowing.
That's crazy.
I
never thought it would be
it's
like that.
Unbelievable.
I thought they just put needles in you.
I walked outside. I was like 15 minutes under the speed limit trying to drive back.
You're just so like,
oh man, no,
that's
it's
so great.
When you think about like the needles and then your muscles are going like jello, and then they just completely relax, and you can almost feel every single piece of your body just like letting go.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's really nice. It's really, really nice.
They need to have that needs to be more mainstream. I know it's been around forever, but
yeah, it's the oldest form of medical practice.
Yeah, Western medicine just kabooshed.
Yeah, they botched it a lot.
Everything.
Yeah, they don't have any respect for the energy centers of the body. I do. Why don't you go? Figure it out for yourself.
Look how many teachings over how many centuries and how many books and sacred texts are there that talk about the same thing.
Same exact thing. It only cost me $85.
Yeah.
And I feel unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Here's the best part. Acupuncture, when it stimulates some of the nerves in your body, it releases a nerve growth hormone. So it actually regrows the nerve.
Oh,
People that have nerve damage, regrow it. No problem. No problem.
So if you've got nerve damage out there,
don't go to surgery. Don't do anything. Go to acupuncture.
That's crazy.
Go 3 times before you make up your mind. Okay. And then after you've done that, Order these books online.
Yeah, we're not in cahoots with them or nothing.
No.
Yeah, we're just saying we love the raw material.
Oh, the quality, the layout, the amount of care that's gone into putting this together. I'm a fan.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's go back to this this list of wonderful, happy things. It's actually just
Revelations.
The revelations. Okay, so we ended with like China being the next superpower. Here's a good one, and we have this a lot in New Mexico, and you see this up in Utah and Nevada. Cattle mutilations were by military and secret service people to create xenophobia towards extraterrestrials.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Xenophobia is like a fear of a foreigner. And do you remember Reagan and Star Wars?
Yeah,
said the next thing's going to be in space.
Right.
And now our governments are releasing all this stuff to say, oh, there's alien craft. We're unsure of why they're here.
Right.
It's that constant fear about it. And then if you can come down here and say that an alien would be mutilating an animal, why? Why would an alien care to mutilate a cow?
Well, yeah, and you also have to look at this too. When our government's force, so when you have a group of people that are putting force upon your free will, and then they add that little flavor of fear in there, it works so great down through the centuries.
Oh, it works really, really well.
So they got to kill a few cows to make that happen.
Rip their eyeballs out.
That's fine.
Burn them with a laser a little bit.
Yeah.
No problem.
They can do that in 2 seconds.
Then the guy goes home and he cracks open a cold one. He said, "I love working for the United States of America."
Yeah, I know there's that base that we have here, Dolce, and there's a ranch right there that gets this cattle mutilations all the time.
It's so easy. Personnel go out, mutilate some stuff, go back to the base.
Well, I mean, they had those, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to go crazy here to some people, but for me, not, because I am. But these androids that you were talking about before, an android that's built, on reverse engineering alien technology, especially these other androids, why couldn't we make something like that? And if they have to have a laser, they could just walk out there. If they're in Dolce, because they're supposed to be in Dolce, these hybrids.
And you're not going to know the difference because the robot has skin.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like, it's alive. No, it's a robot that's just been told to go out there
and mutilate the cows with surgical precision,
and it doesn't
which they would be able to do.
Yeah, because it's a robot.
Yeah.
Why do you think they use robots in surgery now?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much for extending that thought. Okay. So just to give some context, a lot of this material was recorded in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And the Plejaren had told Billy Meier in the 50s, 60s, and 70s about the World Trade Center terrorism. They talked to him about Princess Diana's death, tsunami disasters with Fukushima Daiichi. They also informed him about computers, mobile phones, RFID chips, and drones.
That's so crazy.
Could you imagine a Swiss farmer who just knows about farming and someone starts talking to him about RFID chips and drones?
Try to explain that to me 20 years ago.
Explain to him what Princess Diana is, and she's not even born yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain that to you 20 years ago.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Radio frequency identifier?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Drone? What's that?
We don't have unmanned spacecraft.
Yeah, we have all spacecraft are manned. There's always a man in a spacecraft. You chauvinistic pigs. All right, Plejaren Federation, so the Plejaren, can walk among us invisible in this dimension. They can be with us. You can't see them. And they're also not allowed to interfere. So they can just walk around and observe.
Do you think it's like a cloaking type thing? I mean, I don't need to use Star Trek.
I thought about this last night in bed. What you'd have to do is you'd have to have a really energy-dense device that you clip onto your shirt or whatever material that creates an electrical impulse that actually faces you out of dimension. It reminds me a lot of the Philadelphia experiment, where they made that giant naval ship phase out.
Yes.
And when it came back, like the guys are like inside the walls and stuff like that. And they actually asked Tesla to go there, set it up, and then they kicked them out. That reminds me of the same thing. It's just a more refined one from the future for people who figured out all the nuances of it. And you just strap it to yourself and they're just walking around doing their thing. You'd never even know.
No, and I think it would, especially when you look at, go back to, what was the China one again?
Oh, it said this is China's century and maybe the next superpower. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, and maybe. So this was done in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They're predicting China. We're all seeing what China's doing. We kind of went into detail with China, but this just rolls right in hand. This is so funny. As Americans, we always think America. You know what I mean? But these guys, even though they walk among us invisible, these guys are thinking global.
Yeah. What do you think they're going to be just in the U.S.?
Yeah.
No, they're going to be in Brazil. They're going to be in Angola. They're going to be in Indonesia.
Yes.
They're going to be in all those other places.
So they don't have a problem saying, if China's going to be a superpower because they're going to have technology like crazy.
No problem. I got a beam ship. I'll be there in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Big whoop.
It's that easy.
Yeah. I'm in the U.S. Oh, I'm in China.
Yeah.
I got it on my ship and nobody can see me.
Yeah.
You're just like whispering in people's ears. Hey, psst, hey.
But technology to not be seen.
That's the best technology.
Is a good, and we're going to talk about this because Raw talks about this too. They talk about even when they get to fifth density and stuff, they still doing military.
That's correct.
This is a great. If they can't see me, they can't shoot at me. So hopefully we can prevent death.
Yeah.
Defense it's just a great defense to not even hopefully interfere with anything or anyone.
It's a great defense and it doesn't interrupt people's free will.
Yes, exactly. So technology
you're not forcing yourself into their mind because they saw you. Nothing like
exactly.
that.
So that technology, as you become higher evolved, you would want to have that technology. It's not that they're being elusive on purpose.
No.
I mean, they are, but they're not saying we're not going to show ourselves to you.
It's not a nefarious thing. They're respecting you by not showing themselves.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get into.
Unless you actually call them and say, hey, I would like you to interact with me. I would like to see what you look like. That's when you would see them. Like, hell, we could have 20 in the studio right now.
No, we don't know.
One sits down in your chair.
I have no idea.
I would have no clue. They're out of dimension. I can't even feel them. Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really, really cool. All right. Civilization is built on sand. What does that mean?
That's almost like there's a Bible metaphor for that.
Well, it makes kind of sense. It doesn't.
If you put a castle in the sand, build.
Yeah, if you look at the Pyramid of Giza, it's not just they put stone on sand. They dug down and put a huge foundation in.
Yes.
Because you need something solid to build off of. So when I hear a translation thing of civilization is built on sand, that doesn't sound very good.
Because civilizations in and of themselves build so much complexity that they implode.
Yeah.
I mean that's look what's happening here
in our
country, Our Venezuela had a bigger GDP in the 80s. Venezuela was kicking ass.
Oil, man.
Yeah, I mean it was just like and the Venezuela dollar was worth more than a lot of other currencies. And now look at Venezuela. People are eating dogs.
Yeah, dictator comes in, nationalizes the asset, doesn't let it run into it with a free market, implodes on itself.
People, it's horrific. I watched a thing on that, and I didn't realize it was that bad.
I don't want to eat a dog.
Yeah, but I mean, they just don't have.
Well, I mean, I guess
there's nothing. There's no employment. The inflation is like.
I can't compare. I don't live that existence. I don't know.
But I mean, like you take a country that if you would have looked at it or what was the country in? Was it in? Where was it at that they? It was free in the 70s in the Middle East. And people were wearing
Iran.
Iran, yes.
When it was still a very Persian culture.
Very Persian, but they were very accepting of everything.
They
have pictures of like girls walking around in like
not wearing a hijab,
tube tops and bell bottoms.
Yep.
I mean, there's pictures of this and shorts and all kinds of stuff. And now they can, so this shifting sand is a great comment.
That's a great comment. All you need is a couple strong winds, and then that's it.
Look at.
And you know what's cool about sand? Dunes.
Yeah.
It also covers things up like they cease to exist.
Yes. That's what. How many have we had that?
Oh my gosh.
Failed kingdoms.
Tons of them. Some of them we can't even find because of the sand. This is fun.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, metaphorically speaking. Oh, Akashic records, i.e. stored impulses, are real. So let's break that down. Every thought you have, every emotion, every feeling, every piece of energy is stored forever and all time. If that bothers you, it should. Start thinking better thoughts.
Yeah, I love that. That is
everything.
True.
Nothing is forgotten, ever. Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Question is, do you want to access it?
It's the ultimate cloud.
It's the ultimate cloud.
Yeah.
Akash cloud. Akashic cloud. Akasha cloud.
Akasha cloud. Yeah. There we go.
Like
yeah.
that.
Oh, I like
We're
that.
coining that.
Yeah.
We're going to do something.
We'll use that in Tartle. Our cloud.
We don't store data. We only store impulses. What are you talking about?
The impulse comes, an impulse comes from thought.
Impulse.
They call it premeditated murder for a reason.
Yeah, it's an impulse.
It's thought first, then action.
That's exactly right. Thank you very much. Thought begets action.
Always.
Yep.
You're not going to have action without thought.
Nope. Can't happen.
So anything that you've done or fixing to do is because of thought.
Yeah. So
period.
Really think about it. If it's going to F up someone's free will.
Yeah. Stop getting all crazy.
Yeah. Let's hold
over someone
back.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching those. You look at all the mental illness that's with these shootings. We had this rash of shootings and stuff like that, and people want to blame guns. And there's an argument to be had, like what is self-defense? What did the Second Amendment mean self-defense? Like in the sense of like having a natural pistol, but there is something cool, and people in other countries don't understand this. Maybe in our movies they can watch it. But there is something cool about my individual rights.
That's the most important part.
I know it's a gun, it's a piece of metal, but it's like it embodies, like in our Western culture, in America, and our rugged
ideology of sovereignty and free will.
Yeah, exactly. But
I don't need the cops to defend me. I will defend myself. Like that's.
But do we need a military? Does people need military weapons? We can argue that. But let's not argue that guns are bad.
Yeah, you can split
the thought. The guy had the thought, and if he didn't have a gun, he would have come in and stabbed some people.
Yeah, he would, or a grenade or something. People will use anything under the sun.
It's the thought that creates evil.
Fertilizer. People use fertilizer and gasoline.
Oh, didn't somebody do that in Oklahoma?
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Unabomber. Okay. Yeah, you can use whatever you want. It's not the gun. It's the person that just wants to harm people.
Yeah, but that person is taking in their negative polarity.
Yep.
Is living that, believing it
all day.
This false belief, and then acting out on it. Yeah, it's simple.
That's what it is. It's a projection of their internal processes.
Stop thinking crazy, people.
Yeah, and if you're crazy and you can't stop thinking crazy, let everybody else know you're crazy so we can watch out. Oh.
Yeah, reach out to some friends. Say, hey, I'm thinking crazy thoughts.
Okay. We all need. That's why we all need to be more
accountable. Yeah,
accountable and accepting and open.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
Yeah, I mean, there's times people suffer in silence, and then it's because they feel like they're gonna interfere with somebody. That's what your friends are for.
I was suffering in silence on the acupuncture table today.
You were crying and tear ducting out.
Yeah, I was tear ducting out and laughing uncontrollably. And I get a knock on the door, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm real good. I'm the best I've ever been." Here we go. These are getting so much better. We're living on the edge of a future disaster, which will be the worst the planet has ever seen in any epoch, caused by overpopulation.
I was thinking about this last night. If the Wuhan thing is true, this is a big if. We don't know. World Health Organization says different things. Scientists are like,
whatever you're about to say is
split in half. So I'm just saying right now we don't know. But I'm
making
just
my
saying,
hair stand up.
I'm saying if that virus got leaked from that Wuhan medical facility that ties back to the United States, we're in North Carolina and all that, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's the conspiracy theory on it. But if that actually happened, more deadlier diseases being released in the future, I don't see that being an issue. I don't see it being I see it being inevitable.
Oh, because of the size of our population?
Yeah, because of the size of our population, and then how easy that is. How easy was that? You know what I mean?
It was cakewalk.
Yeah.
How many
it's just people.
If I walked outside, we'll keep this so simple. If I stand in one spot for an hour just observing people, how many will walk by and sneeze? How many will walk by and touch their face?
Yeah.
How many will touch another object or touch a person? It's what we do. We're human beings. So if you create something that just moves off of a water membrane medium, and has the ability to mutate and spread quickly, you can do that with any type of virus you want. You can do it all day long.
All day long. What happened? What was? I want to get into this. This is really good. What happened with Chernobyl? Why did that happen? You don't have to tell me what happened, but why?
Oh, I was like, why are you asking me this? Amanda asked me this last night.
What was it?
Chernobyl was a...
You don't have to... No, I don't mean that. I'm just like...
What are you asking me?
Why did the emergency happen? The meltdown. What caused that?
People weren't paying attention.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So you remember you always use your... I'm bringing back to your analogy. I'm trying to break a bridge here.
You're doing a good job.
Breaking bridges. Remember your analogy with the surgeon smoking a cigarette, standing outside?
Correct.
And he's a surgeon and he's doing his job kind of half-ass.
Yes.
But he's outside and he doesn't care about his job because obviously he's smoking a cigarette, right?
Yes.
So I could picture the same thing, vodka fucking filled, He's
got his clipboard. He's
like, I
I
fucking checked this, 100 times.
I know that rod's running a little hot, but
yeah, and I'm really buzzed, and I want to go have a cigarette, whatever. Or the Wuhan lab, if that actually happened, it would have been. It's always, in the military, pilot error.
It's pilot error.
Human error
every time,
and complacency.
Mm-hmm.
That and any type of natural disaster you see. When humans are involved, it's not like a tsunami or something like that, but when you see some type of disaster that humans are involved, it's always just because of our negligence.
It's always negligence. And then, what if it's planned negligence?
Yes.
I don't want to create a conspiracy theory here, but
9/11.
There is probably no better warfare than financial and biological warfare.
Yes.
Hands down. That's what it is. If you want to control things, you can control it with a thing that people can't see with their eyes, that kills them en masse, and it allows you to enforce control.
Well, look how quickly they were able to exhibit their force of control.
Maybe someone
on something that you survive 99.8% chance of living.
Yeah.
So, which was COVID, which I'm vaccinated. I think I had COVID in the beginning. You had COVID, whatever. So,
yeah.
But whenever you look at a group of people that consistently show that they want to destroy your individuality and they want to impose on your free will, and then they have an opportunity to, do you not think if they're practicing that in a small way, and something big happens, do you not think the questions that they ask themselves is, how can we take more control?
Why wouldn't they?
That would be the first question.
They're in the control business.
And they did that to the world.
They're in the control business.
Yes.
It's a virus, right? Has it spread around at all? The bubonic plague showed up and then kept showing up for some time. But then it stopped. This thing shows up. What about, what's the bird one?
I'm going to show you one that's even worse.
No, yeah, go ahead and show me. And oh, gosh. Even if it was human error, right? You're still creating something that, whatever you're doing with it, if you don't pay attention to how you're handling it, it'll end up being a biological weapon, even if it's intended or not intended.
Well, even so,
tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis. There we go. Thank you. Last year killed 1.4 million people.
Yeah, I know. What about?
But we kind of have tuberculosis under control.
Can you please look up how many people died from car accidents?
Oh yeah, that's like.
Look up how many people last year died in a car accident globally.
1.35 million.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's what the WHO is saying.
Yeah, and then you got other things like how many people died from malnourishment. How many people died from dengue fever?
Oh yeah, malaria is number one.
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
So mosquitoes they're the highest killing animal.
Yeah.
But I mean, any of these when you look at it. But what I was saying with tuberculosis is, it was taking out millions and millions of people. Back in the late 1800s. And
we've seen the pictures. They're freaking out. Remember the OG gas masks and stuff?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, because if you got that, this was no COVID. If you got that, you're dead.
That's guaranteed.
You're in like a month or less, you're gone.
Yeah, that's a guarantee.
I mean, I think it was like a 50%.
I don't like
mortality rate or something like that. It was crazy, bro.
I don't like those odds at all.
So, when we had a 99.8%, and then what they say for population, super fucking simple. I don't see any issue with that one.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes total effing sense. Here's the next one. Now that we've painted such a happy light on everything. Tunguska event was a spaceship. you remember Tunguska over in Russia or Serbia, wherever the hell it was, in the woods?
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, it's in Dominion, right? And the trees spread out in all different directions. That's what they were saying, right? With their white lab coats, big glasses, pocket protector, clipboard. And on those old, like, 4x3 reel movies.
Yes, I love that, yeah.
You know? No, they said that it was a spaceship. And then, here's the funny part. If you go to Raw confirms this. 2 completely separate sources. Geographically, no contact whatsoever. 2 totally independent people, too. Didn't even know about one another. And they said, yeah, in fact, the Tunguska event was a Confederation ship that got a little jacked up in its system. It was essentially a drone, right, in a sense. Came down here. But they all run on specialized nuclear energy. Well, what am I going to do? I can't fly it out of here. And I can't leave the technology around for people to find. You got to blow it up. So they're like, let's move it to an area where absolutely nobody exists. Tunguska. Blow it up. You should look at the pictures online. They're actually quite remarkable of the trees and the patterning and all that other stuff. So that's cool. Here we go. Extraterrestrials are forbidden by law to openly, freely reveal themselves to us.
Openly, freely reveal themselves. Forbidden. I wonder what this law is.
They can't. And Ross speaks about this too. They made an agreement. These members in our local sector and other people that visit this planet or have some sort of tie to Earth, that they're going to put they're going to put a quarantine on Earth. Not in the sense of COVID, but no ships in, no ships out. We don't really we got to leave these people alone for a bit. Stuff's getting a little out of hand. And that's true. And then if you break that rule, they say that there's netting or something around the planet. I forget how they describe this. But there are points where there's energy shifts. And certain craft will go through these points, these dimensional points of energy shifts, so they can move through this energetic quarantine. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm looking it up. Yeah.
Oh, you're looking it up. Cool.
So what is so when you think of explain the inner shifting to me. Is it like, because I've kind of got a rudimentary.
See this right here?
Right.
See this thing right here? Imagine if this was around the Earth, this flower of life with this geometry. We would think that everything's completely static.
Right.
But in our world, energy is not static. It's very dynamic. It's variable. Even though it's holding this energetic pattern, there are shifts in it. It's like a sunspot. You'll have like weak points where it gets cooler.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
These are like openings or doors for people to come in who are like, well, F that law. We don't jive with you people. We're going to go in regardless. Right? And so that's what's essentially going on.
So they're using these weak points when they open to just slide on in and then going against the law.
That's correct. So if you start seeing like an extraterrestrial walking around on the ground next to you, I'd probably stay away from that dude. He has no regard for...
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, next. This is a blast. Extraterrestrials have lived on Earth at various times in bases and in small communities.
In bases and in small communities.
Okay, so bases. Whether it be their bases, our government's bases, small
Atlantis.
Communities, Atlantis, Easter Island, all those things. That's pretty cool. Various times. So it's like they came, left, came, left, came, left.
Is that happening now? Do we have alien bases, and are they working with humans now?
That's funny. The recent contacts in the Billy Meier material said, we weren't planning to come back after 1979. We had no interest. We thought we did what we had to do. And they said, lo and behold, we're back. They came back in 2020. They're back in their bases, apparently on the planet, because we're too out of control. And they cited Trump's name quite a few times.
They don't like him?
Not one bit. They said he had lied to the public 8,369 separate times.
I would imagine most presidents lie 8,300.
That's a lot. That means every time you're addressing the public, just always talking like about a lie.
All lies, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll be back for the final part of this.